Then I find it's helpful to keep track of them in one location. My preference is to create a Google Doc. You could certainly do it in a Google Slides or whatever you think is best. And I'll call this Breakout Groups for Science, whatever you want to title that. If you're not familiar with adding in a table in Google Docs, just go to Insert menu and then click on Table. You can pick however many rows, columns you think you might need. I'll say Breakout Group Number, and then Link, Meet Link, and then Students, perhaps. And then I'll go to Breakout Group 1. I'll come back to my calendar. Make sure you grab the correct Breakout Group Group 1. And I'll paste that in. Then I'll go ahead and do Group 2, and I'll go grab Group 2. And it's just nice to have these all in one place for you and for your students as a universal space where you can always return and grab the links that you need. Especially if you're the teacher and you're trying to hop and float between different groups, it can get a little confusing if you don't have it all in one spot. So I'll grab my fourth one, copy that link, paste that in. And then I often find it's very helpful in these summary tables to include the original Meet link as well, which again, I got mine from Google Classroom. So I'll go ahead and just copy this and paste that in my table as well. And then you can add in additional rows as you need to. If you're not familiar with tables in Google Docs, you can just right-click and say Insert Row Below to add additional tables. And then I might think about how I want to set up these groups. Maybe I want to do it by period. So period 1 students. I really can spell, I promise. So perhaps I have student A, B, C, D, and E in here, and then I have student F, G, H, I, J, etc. You can keep adding. Then you can use the same table for all of your class periods. If you right-click, you can insert a column to the right. So maybe I have my period 2 students here, and then you can continue to add columns. If you feel like the columns are a little squished, you can go to File and Page Setup, click on Landscape, change the orientation of your document, and that allows you to have a little bit more space in which to work. So I have all of my breakout groups set up at this point, and it's important to keep in mind that through Google Calendar, students can access these Meet links at any time, and you don't have to be there. Can access Meets without teacher present. So you might be thinking in your head, I'm not comfortable with that. I want to make sure that kids can't get in or out of those Meets. I have to be there. So I'm going to show you another way to set up Meets that have those types of restrictions.